What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode. I don't even know what episode this is. Totally forgot.
Yeah, I'm lost. 13 or 14.
I think we literally pressed play like 30 seconds ago. I forgot to check what episode.
Yeah, we did not do our homework. But we did throw something kind of fancy out for everybody yesterday. A little fan film thing that we put together.
Vignette.
A little vignette type thing.
Sketch. A skit.
Fucking
amazing piece of art. Deconstructing
yes.
An anime that
you should check it out.
Never been deconstructed before. Nobody's ever spoken on what they think about the meaning of this shit.
True. We did sort of like a little parody of it, and I think it was meant to be an intro to this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know if we actually discussed it or not. Maybe I was making it up, but
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah. But I threw it out anyway, just a little art piece that we did.
Art piece.
I think it's artful. We did some work on it. Expect more of that kind of stuff from us because that's kind of like what we want to, the direction we want to go into.
Yeah. Filming, so we're gonna, not to make ourselves sound all like artsy fartsy, but we want to start doing some actual like, not dramatic, but like some funny sketchy, skitty type stuff.
Yes.
Along with the podcast.
A little more production kind of into it along with the podcast.
And actually, if you guys want to be a part of it, just hit us up. We actually could use actors and people to fucking hang out with and play with. Yeah, extra set of hands, you'll be in. It's not work.
No.
This is nothing work. We're usually bullshitting and having fun while we do it. So if you want to hang out and chill and maybe be in this and fuck around with us, let us know.
Yeah. Send us your resume and your headshot.
But
anyway, today we're going to do podcasts. We're going to...
Headshot. I don't know if this is how you hold a gun because I'm an actual nerd and I don't know anything about guns.
Close enough. Good. I'm a nerd and I've held many a gun.
Oh.
You're close. You're good.
Gangster.
Your world of video games has, taught you well.
I hate shooters.
Yeah.
I hate shooters.
Well, then you'll probably never blow a school up or anything like that. Let's be happy about that.
I don't know if I meant I hate like shooter like video games or I hate the people that shoot up schools. I do.
Well, can't it be both?
Yes, it can be both. Man.
Good. So today we're just gonna do our regular podcast, talk about some stuff. It's never.
There's nothing regular about this podcast. No. This podcast is magnanimous. It's amazing. Gotta hype it up, bro.
Oh, got you.
We've lost a lot of interaction since the first volume of this shit.
This is true. We need to make it better. So I guess it won't help to say that we're not going to talk about anything new or cutting edge today.
No, well, I mean, we might mention like, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but we're kind of not going to report news. I guess,
and we don't. We're just sitting bullshit.
Yeah, we're just going to sit in bullshit, and we're going to talk about what we think is interesting. I think that's going to be more. It's going to allow for more engagement in terms of actually seeming like we want to do this instead of having to go through the slog of. Well, Nintendo said this, and Star Wars said this.
Exactly. So it's more of our thoughts, opinions, sort of the...
Because it's the internet, and we're entitled, and we want people to know what the fuck we have.
It is our right to sit here and bullshit about whatever we want, when we want.
How we
want.
And
if you don't like it, create a petition. Then take that petition, fold it several times, and shove it up your ass. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my Stanley from The Office. Okay, anyways. So, first thing, I know that you were wanting to mention this, and I kind of wanted to get into it also, is Fire Emblem.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which looks really cool. Well, you set it up.
Well, okay, so Fire Emblem Three Houses just came out for the Nintendo Switch. Looks really cool. As usual, we have not played it. We don't know much about it. We don't have any clips or...
No, we don't do that.
No gameplay footage.
We spend our time making cardboard costumes for prop skeletons.
Yes. No, we don't have any of that, valuable stuff that you would want to really see or know about. But we have opinions, and...
but it looked cool. We watched the trailer.
Mm-hmm. I played Fire Emblem Fates for the 3DS back in the day, and... I found it very intricate. I mean, it's a deep dive of a game.
Tell me, shit was that was intense. I mean, I've played a couple Fire Emblems back in the GBA days, real early. I haven't played any in the last couple generations. And watching this trailer, seeing like all the shit that you have to do other than just the fighting, because it's a tactical RPG.
Yes.
but there's all kinds of systems and like school and calendar shit. Like it's super intense.
Yes, and if it's anything like the older ones, I mean those you could sit there and you could you could mate your characters. You know, you would sit there and mate your characters. They would have children. Those children would grow up, and you would train those children to join your armies. I mean, it was just insanely in depth. You know, the skill trees and just adding to their fighting ability was just crazy. You know, it was very, very, very in depth and very, very, very deep, a very deep dive of a game. And it looked a lot like Three Houses is kind of going in that same direction.
Yeah, and that's cool. So this one, it's called Three Houses, and it's the setup is that it's 3 different kingdoms, like 3 different schools, and it's like schools meaning like not like Harry Potter schools, academies. Yeah, well, like
it's like martial academies.
Yeah. So basically 3 lands essentially pit against each other, and those are the the banners that you can fly and the characters that you can work out through. And yeah, there's a lot. It seems like there's a lot of the tactical RPG aspect, which is what I love. My favorite game of all time is probably Final Fantasy Tactics, the original. So I love tactics, tactical RPGs. This one looks like it has that, but it looks like it has that whole framework of lectures and school and daily routines, which I've never gotten into games like that, like MMOs and in terms of like just getting into a game and just literally being about the technical aspect of hacking and slashing was never my thing. I like story-driven RPGs, but I've also on the converse side never been really gotten involved in an RPG where like that minutia is so big. Like I've never even played like The Sims or Animal Crossing or anything like that. Yeah. So I've never been really exposed to like the type of game that has these kind of intricacies and weird little systems and things that you can get into.
Yeah, and it looks like if you took like Final Fantasy Tactics and The Sims and Persona and made them all have some sort of weird threesome baby, that would be what Fire Emblem Three Houses look like.
Persona.
Yeah,
Persona.
Persona is a really cool
RPG,
like, franchise. That's what I was looking for. Franchise.
It looks really cool. I love the art style. I love the art direction.
It's beautiful.
I like the cell shading. And when we watched the trailer, like, is it just in general cell shading stuff?
For the most part, I think the softer cell shading is a lot better. But with the Switch, a lot of their games have real hard cell shading, and that just is a little.
So it looks kind of like Uncanny Valley-ish.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Almost that, or you're getting some more of like almost Scanner Darkly kind of stuff where it's too
much.
Oh,
gotcha. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of that too.
Ooh.
And I don't like that. And I think that has some to do with the hardware limitations because they don't put a whole lot of anti-aliasing into their engines, game engines for that. So
it looked good though.
Yeah,
like the textures and everything looked good.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I like it. I'm probably gonna give it a try eventually.
Yeah. I mean that looks cool. If there was, I've never gotten into those types of games. It feels like if I was to pick that up, it's something that I'd want to invest a lot of time into. Mm-hmm. So I would need some time to play it. But It looks badass. It looks badass. It does. One thing that I did get into actually just last night was Sword Art Online. I was with my friend Steven's last night. Steven from the group, shout out. He we were over at his place and he was playing that on the Switch, and it looks really, really cool. And he started telling me what Sword Art Online was. I knew that it was a big thing. When I worked at Hulu, they I don't know if I can say that. We're a nobody podcast.
I'll bleep it.
When I worked at Hulu, that was a big thing. I think one of the either second or third season was coming out, and I was getting all kinds of weebs calling in. Why is this not working? I remember for a while there was something wrong with Sword Art Online on Hulu.
Really?
Yeah, like there was it was either a dub or a sub issue. Like it was the sub or the dub was wrong. It was like just some other anime or some other show. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I remember there was a whole like 2 or 3 days where we were just getting call after call.
Wow.
And I was like, "Fuck your weeb show," and then I was like, "Oh, this is like a big thing." And he started telling me about it, and it seems pretty badass. One of the coolest things that I didn't know, I told you about this just now that you weren't aware of, is that most anime or manga, obviously, or most anime or video games are based like on a manga first, then it goes into production into either or. Manga, sorry.
I had to correct
fucking manga.
Manga.
Flaggle. Anyways.
Damn it.
I
knew that would come back.
But these are what they're called light novels. It's not a manga. It's actually it's a novel.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and this is the full first season. And so Steven, awesome again. He loaned me these. I'm gonna breeze through these, and I'm gonna start checking out the anime because it's either on Hulu or Netflix. I guess on Hulu because that's where I was getting the call from.
Yeah, I watched it originally on Netflix. I don't think it's still on there.
So yeah, they might have picked it up on Hulu.
They had the subs on. They had they had the third. Okay, I don't call it correctly the way it is because I always thought when they were in the original game that was season 1 and the Fairy World was season 2. That is not correct. I think the Fairy World is a continuation of season 1. I believe.
I mean, he
I
told
could
me.
be wrong.
I mean, from what he told me, and again, I didn't research this because NLM. But he told me that the third season is ongoing right now, and of course, not having watched it, he did tell me that like whatever this is encased, or
Season
this
1?
is all season 1.
And
These
these two are the Fairy World
Yeah.
ones, so that's season 1.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then the next 3 novels are the second season, and that one, the third novel is Marion's Rosary or something like that.
Okay, so is the second season that gun
Gale.
Is that
Gale
it?
Gun, something like that. He mentioned that there's a character. He was showing me the character in the game. He's like, you meet her in the Gun Gale or whatever. I don't remember if that was season 2 or season 3.
Huh.
But he told me. But either way, that's later on.
Well, I never watched that one because it was not dubbed, and I was all I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I have cataracts, so
Yeah.
I can't
Watch
really
the
read.
subs,
Yeah.
read the subs.
I like to the dubs or whatever. But either way, it looks really badass. I like the idea of it. Dude invents a video game, like an immersive VR game, puts it on, and you put it on, and he's like, "Hey, I fooled you. You can't take it off. You can take it off and die unless you beat the game."
Mhm.
Which I thought was a brilliant fucking premise for like
It
that's
is.
just fucking cool.
It is.
Like that's an amazing. And I was like, but then I started immediately intellectualizing it. Like, well, if everybody is aware that if you remove it, why not just all 10,000 people that are stuck in a game just agree to like progress together?
You would think, just kind of swarm.
Yeah, but he's like, but no, they talk about why that happened.
Yeah.
And people try to do that, and it doesn't work.
Well, people become people, you know.
Yeah,
and
that's kind of yeah.
You know,
So
there becomes a big division within the population.
So I was like, okay, well, let's go. At least they're looking at what would happen. So,
Right.
So it looks really interesting, and the fact that I don't know why. Maybe it is a little bit of snobbiness on my end, but the fact that it comes from novels as opposed to like manga,
Yeah.
for some reason is like, oh, this, I don't know why.
It's very cool. I never
This
even
might
knew
be,
it was novels first.
I don't know why I would think it's.
And
has
it makes
better
a lot of
pedigree,
sense.
That's just me being a snob, to be honest with you.
Well, it makes a lot of sense, and you know, I really that it comes from a novel and it's so well written and thought out. You know, like the love story between Kirito, I believe, and Asuna.
That's what he was telling me. He was
man.
like, it was funny because we
It's
were
epic.
Yeah, but it's funny because we were like, he was like, basically we were trying to play Smash Brothers, and he's like, I need to get to a place where I can turn this off. I was like, okay. So we were like, you know, going through the story, and it was this giant long dialogue thing. He's just like the entire time he's just playing, he's like, these fucking lovey-dovey pieces of shit. I was like, that's hilarious. Like it's just funny, but like I like the idea, or I like the fact that it's super story driven.
It is.
You know, it's not to relate it back to Fire Emblem. It doesn't seem to have like all that super intricate, like you have to go to school today and you have to, you know, whatever. But it seems like it's a classic, more classically styled JRPG, which is kind of
Yes, and they've got a lot of those actually, and they're on, I forgot to tell you, they're on sale. I think they're still on sale right now on Steam.
Okay.
So you can get them for like $5.
Nice.
And
really?
some
The
of them.
Sword Art Online
Yes,
games?
some of them.
I
Very
thought they were like PS4 games
No,
and stuff like that.
they have them on Steam.
No, yeah, but I mean, like I get that I can play it like on my laptop or whatever, but I thought they were like PS4 quality, so they'd be like $60 normally. Like, aren't they like regular video games, or
Some
are these
of
like?
them are. Well, there's 2 new ones, but they've got some of the older ones. Then those are much cheaper. But I think they're probably like PS3 kind of quality. That's fine, you know,
Cool.
They're not that old.
I again, I'm not familiar with this, so I thought that these were like something. And he was like, no, it's like the books came out like 2008, and the anime came out like 2012.
Makes sense.
So I was like, oh, okay, so they're a little It's not like brand new.
No, and it's an excellent story. I really recommend it.
So I'll be doing probably later on tonight is checking that out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, speaking of checking shit out, we saw another couple things. I want to talk about The Watchmen, I guess. We just saw that. Or did anything else you wanted to say about video games or anything?
Not particularly, no. I think we kind of went through what we were talking about with Sword Art Online. That was
cool.
Wait, was there something else? No. Not really. No. I keep trying to get you to play Magic the Gathering Arena, but you're too...
Yeah, okay, well, actually, speaking about that, last night at Steven's, after we were playing Smash and stuff, we actually, he had just recently bought some cards, and my friends came over and we were playing, and played Magic for the first time in a couple months last night, and I don't play Magic, I haven't played regular in like 15 years. So I've only played maybe 5 times in the last 15 years. Yeah. But played last night, and it was really fun. And I wanted to bust out my decks that I recently also bought.
So do I. Yeah.
I might actually, if we hang out later on today, they might. I might go over there. They might come over here. We might play more Magic today. Either way, I was like, I gotta go home tonight and get into Arena because I got the itch for it. Of course, I just came home and fell asleep.
Yes.
But yeah. So I'm. Arena is on the horizon.
It's good. It's fun. I'm enjoying it, and it's...
And you play against people. Like, we play each other, right?
Yeah, cool. Yeah. You just get your little friend... There's a little friend code thing. Yeah, and you just put that in a little space and you can play against your friends. Now, they do... It's... the thing that kind of I didn't like, and I haven't really explored too much of it, but it's all regular. You can't... It's all Type 2. You can't,
it's not like...
build old decks or anything like that.
So it's all current?
Yes.
Cool. That's fine.
From what I can tell. Now, with the Magic the Gathering Online, you could do that.
Yeah, and that's what I was confused. When you first started telling me about Arena, I thought that you were talking about Magic the Gathering Online, which I just realized is a totally different animal.
Yeah, and they've got there's 2 separate games that from online.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool.
I still remember the old Magic Gathering, and I remember I was telling you, I thought Arena was like an old thing. Mm-hmm. Not Arena. I was thinking Apprentice.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember Apprentice?
No.
It was like back in the day, like turn of the century, and it was like you could play it in like IRC, and it was like there was no pictures. It was literally just the card labels, and you could click on the card. It would say.
I heard about that.
Me and Marshall.
Oh.
That's how when he lived in Tennessee or wherever he was living at. That's how we would play. And it was. I think it's still available. It's just super old school graphic. There's no graphics in it, but I remember that's how we. And I used to play in tournaments on that shit back in the day. That's what I don't know why I thought that's what Arena was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No.
Very different.
Yeah.
This is much more smooth. Much more. It's very much like the Duel of the Planeswalkers games that they
back in the day
that they came out with. They're relatively recent. Well, I mean,
like the 360 and stuff.
Yeah, they had it on 360. Well, they kept up with it all the way up to 2015, I think was the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, they started it way back then, and they kept doing new versions of it all the way to 2015 when they finally gave up on it. And
that's when isn't that when like Magic the Gathering Online came out?
Yeah, exactly. It was replaced with that.
Cool.
And it feels very much like those old Duel of the Planeswalkers games as far as how you play it, but it also feels a little more natural too. Because it was a little more clunky playing those games. Here, you just drag your shit, you drag your card where you want it to go. Very, very, very smooth.
Just pretty straightforward. This is your game mat, and cool.
You hover over the card, you put your mouse and you hover over whichever card, and it pops up, and you can read it and look at it.
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, nice. I'm definitely, I'm just getting back into the ability to play Magic has made me fucking start that itch again.
Me too.
Eventually, I want to start playing.
Yeah. I thought I went and looked at my decks, but mine are all ancient. I got to go through and maybe buy some new ones.
Yeah, I got some cards if I want to look through them too eventually. Cool. So that was fun. Yeah.
But anyway, we were talking about Watchmen. We kind of
What do you think the trailer?
I'm about 50-50 on it because it doesn't feel. It feels like it's one of those shows that are set in the universe, but not really putting too much. Yes, not really putting too much into the actual, backstory, lore, all that good stuff. It just feels like kind of a story that's going on in the universe of Watchmen.
And it's a sequel.
Shout outs.
It is a sequel. It takes place in modern day.
Yeah.
So it's in 2019.
Yeah.
Which is, that's cool. I like the idea of it. It looks like there's going to be some callbacks because you see the hood at the beginning of the trailer, but it looks like, what I like about it is it could easily be a show in which like the Watchmen comic book and movie exists, and people are taking that iconography and doing shit with it. That's what it seems like. I posted in the group actually maybe a few days ago saying that I would be totally cool if it just used the Watchmen as the jumping off point, but it was its own thing. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think there are gonna be ties to the story.
I mean, they do show.
Well, they show Dr. Manhattan. And Jeremy Irons is playing Ozymandias.
I thought so.
Yeah, he's playing Ozymandias. So there is that, and they have the cult of Rorschach. And the thing I was wondering is like when he says like they will look up and in the trailer the Rorschach cult. They basically quote Rorschach's famous line. And when I first saw the trailer, I was like, well, how do they know that? How do they? And then I remember, that he was narrating when he was writing it.
He wrote it all down.
So it's like, okay, so that's why they found. I think what it is they find Rorschach's journal, and because of whatever's happening between the vigilantes and the police, they take that and they go extreme with it. Because they say that there was a bunch of attacks on like police homes. Mm-hmm. So it's like the police are getting angry that terrorists are attacking them, so they become vigilantes and start to become brutal, and it's like bad guys versus good cops and the civilians dealing with it. It just looks like it's going to be interesting. That idea, the premise of that power struggle and the exploration of what they're going to do with that is what makes me really stoked about this. I could care less that it's in the Watchmen universe. I don't care, because it looks like they're teasing Dr. Manhattan's return from Mars. I'm not really into that. I'm more way into like the idea of like the military dude telling his daughter that you should not trust people in masks because they have something to hide, and then later on in the trailer, the lady asking, "Well, how do you tell a bad vigilante versus a masked cop? You can't." So it's like that's like, oh shit, you shouldn't trust people in masks. Well, you can't trust cops in masks either. Right. It's like I love that the idea of that, and Damon Lindelof, who's the guy that's show running it, Lost, famous for being awesome and then ending shittily. Leftovers, I think he did. Famous for being awesome and ending shittily. I think he worked on like a couple Star Trek movies and stuff. It's like Damon Lindelof has a track record of shepherding something to be really awesome and then having it kind of peter out. So I'm worried about that, especially because at this point I agree with what he said. I think earlier this week they asked him. Brian Fuller, that's a whole other conversation.
I've been watching Brian Fuller shit like for
Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies and Dead Like Me.
Did you watch Dead Like Me? I have that entire series.
I've been watching.
I have the movie Dead Like Me.
It's on Amazon.
Real quick tangent. Have you been watching Star Trek Discovery?
No.
First season was showrun by Brian Fuller. Or the first half of the first season was showrun by Brian Fuller. Yeah, and he also did the first season of American Gods. Anyways, Brian Fuller.
We're definitely we're shooting off all over the place.
And I think now we have to do an episode on Brian Fuller. Yes. We have to do an episode just on showrunners in general.
Yes, we should.
But anyways,
amazing.
Lindelof has that kind of Brian Fuller.
Yeah.
Without the track record of Brian Fuller, to be honest. So I'm worried about that, but because it's so different than the Watchmen, I kind of like it. And about a week ago, I think it was at Comic-Con, they asked him like, well, Alan Moore is famously not wanting to do anything. How does he feel about the show? And he's like, no, like I think Alan Moore is still very much like fuck Watchmen. He doesn't want anything to do it. But
I thought he said fuck Alan Moore.
In that vein, but he didn't say fuck Alan Moore. That's what the headlines are going with. The quote itself was
Alan Moore will come and kill you in your house.
He won't come and kill you. He'll fucking pray and send
some sort of demon.
Like what are you talking about?
Some sort of smoke.
He doesn't have to leave his home. Yeah. He'll write you into his comic, and you will start to leave the real world if you start into his comic.
Bleed into his comic,
and you'll be in this existential horror. But no, he's like India. And a monocle. And a monocle. And you'll be a superhero.
Yes.
And in the vein of what of Alan Moore kind of saying, fuck you, my work is mine. Fuck you, I'm gonna do this anyways. He wouldn't care, what people think about his work. He's gonna write what he wants.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of do the same. So he wasn't saying fuck Alan Moore. He was saying fuck Alan Moore. So, which
it's a soft fuck.
Yeah, it's a soft fuck. Which is fuck me gently.
Yes.
Which I respect. I don't necessarily have 100% confidence, but by the look and the tone of the trailer, I think it's gonna be cool.
I think that, for the look of the tone of the trailer, if it's solid story-wise, which it looks like it will be, then it should go pretty far. Again, I think you said it, and I feel like it may have the potential to really peter out the way it typically does, just from what we've seen so far. Not to say it will, But
and I don't know how many episodes it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like if it's 8 episodes, there's less of a chance for it to fuck up. But it's HBO, so they the Game of Thrones guys had to fight to get season 8 to be 6 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
The Game of Thrones. I mean, HBO is like more. We want to make the money.
Mm-hmm.
So if they try to stretch it to like 13 episodes, I don't know
that might water it down a little too much. Yeah.
And I don't know how many seasons you can pull out of that. I mean, I guess anything's possible because writing, but do we need that?
Yeah, and it depends. I mean, they may have to actually start pulling in Watchmen. It might have to start become more of a Watchmen-centric thing farther down the line to actually keep that.
I wonder if
going,
that before
possibly.
Watchmen stuff is going to be canon to this, because the Watchmen story itself is canon to this.
Yeah.
They haven't decided whether they're going with the comic or the movie. So at the end of the Watchmen comic, everything ends with a giant squid monster appearing in Manhattan and blowing everything up.
Naturally.
At the end of the movie, because it's a movie and this was before they wanted to stay faithful to comics, they didn't think a squid monster would be cool enough, so they made Dr. Manhattan, which I actually don't mind. I think that's actually an interesting interpretation.
I thought it was.
Which is cool. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
But in the show, since it's a sequel, they haven't said whether it's going to be a sequel to the comic or the movie. With Dr. Manhattan coming back at the end of the trailer, it feels more like the movie.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of distrust for him. And it seems like this whole show is all about distrust for authority.
Yeah.
But if it is the squid, that would be cool.
Just because that would be cool.
Just because that would be fucking the balls.
Fuck yeah.
The balls.
It
You know
would,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that'd be... The balls!
The balls!
The balls of these guys!
You got some balls on you.
But yeah. It looks cool. But again, I care less about Dr. Manhattan, giant squids, and superheroes as much as I do about... Or I care about that less than I do about...
The story of it
the
looks really
dynamics,
good,
yeah.
Oh, but you had mentioned Star Trek a minute ago.
Discovery Bravo, and another trailer that's coming out, of course, is Picard.
Yes.
Picard.
I was so fucking torn with Picard because I love Sir Patrick. I love you, Sir Patrick. He will be in the credits of this episode, believe me. But,
Okay.
Just like Aubrey Plaza,
No, I don't know. What's that reference?
Aubrey Plaza?
Mm-hmm.
Do you read or watch the shit that I fucking do? I work my ass off to produce these episodes, and he has no clue.
What are you talking about, Aubrey Plaza?
Remember? Okay.
Oh,
Bay!
Bay! Aubrey
Thank
Plaza's
you!
Bay. That's
Fuck,
right.
man.
Yeah, I do remember
Okay,
that.
good.
I was like, what are you talking about?
I like to throw little Easter eggs in episodes and do things like that.
Moosington J. Moose.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the last
Yeah.
one. And fuck Georgia. That's going to be in all of them ever.
Fuck Georgia.
All of them.
Yes.
But anyway, so, I was sort of on the fence because, I don't know, man. Sir Patrick
He's 79.
he's not going to, I just don't see him making it for too much longer, being able to work. He may live to be 110, but, you really got to have some stamina to work.
You and fucking Kevin Smith. Like, I was watching Fat Man Beyond last night, and they talked about this as well. And, first they mentioned that Burt Ward is going to be in the Crisis crossover on the CW. And Mark Bernardin on that show just started laughing at him because he's like, Burt Ward. Kevin was like, Burt Ward's fucking Burt Ward. Show some respect.
Yeah.
But he's like 80-something. He's like, he's so old, the fact that he's coming back to play Robin is like, that's kind of cool on his part. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And then they started talking about Picard, and he's like, he's 79. And it's just going off and off about, like, he's so old. I hope he's old. It's like, he's obviously wants to be in the show.
Want to be is very different.
But are you worried that he's gonna suck, or are you worried that like?
Well, okay, maybe a little bit of suck because, you got you're going to Picard. You have to be commanding. You have to have that Picard presence.
I could totally see CBS being like, or like somebody at CBS being like, I don't know, he's a little old, but then everybody else at CBS being, yeah, but money. And so I could see them being like, yeah, he looks shitty, but let's.
And they are trying to
I just don't
surround him to where he's got enough padding.
I don't want to put that out there. That
I don't
he's
either.
Too old.
I don't either.
I hadn't even thought of that until you fucking started mentioning this. Like, I was just, he looks cool. Like, he looks like a 79-year-old. Like, when he's walking, he's a little old, but he doesn't look like he's dying.
I don't want to either, and he may not. But I mean, I don't want him
he's
to
in a-
die on set.
I
I don't want him to be like, oh, bloody hell, and just drop down because he's working 15-hour days.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I love fucking Sir Patrick. I want this to be successful, and the story looks great. The idea looks great, and fucking Jeri Ryan's gonna be in it,
Yeah.
and Brett Spiner,
Marina Sirtis and Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah.
And the kid that played you.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Go you.
I mean, I've only ever seen those episodes like once when I was like 5 or like was like 9.
That guy's got to be in his like 50s or 60s.
No,
right
he
now.
was at Comic-Con. He looks like he looks younger than we do.
Really?
Yeah, Hollywood, I guess.
I guess, because man.
I mean, that was 90?
He'd have to be at least my age.
Well, I mean, we were just talking. Fucking wax this guy's ego. He doesn't look his age. I don't think I look my age either.
No, you don't. You look good too.
But we're really old, honestly. Like really old. But either way.
So if he was minimal 18.
Yeah, let's say like he was 17, 18, and that was
he'd be a
1990.
few years older than me. A couple years older. Maybe late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
That's not bad.
But he didn't look it.
No.
He looked like honestly, man, he looked like he was in his 20s.
Huh?
Yeah. We'll pull up the
good for you.
the contact. Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
either
pull
way,
up a
it's just
picture.
weird because like I've never seen him in
I'm gonna
anything
pull up a
else.
picture.
Oh, cool. And pull it from the Comic-Con. But either way, I mean, for him being a 2-episode role, like in 1990, 1991, for them to just be like, oh, you know, but the fact of what his role was, what those episodes meant, and the fact they're bringing 7 of 9, it all makes sense. It all makes sense if you look at the bigger story.
And Jeri Ryan, you look good too, baby.
She looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
What?
Don't call her
Do you
baby.
think Jeri Ryan's gonna
No,
watch
but
this?
other people might. It's just creepy. Not creepy. It's just weird.
You're going in the credits too, Jeri Ryan.
Wow. What about Jerry Seinfeld?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna have a list of Jerry's. Jerry the Mouse.
Jerry the Mouse.
You know those Patreon lists and the end
Yeah,
credits?
yeah.
That's gonna be. I'm gonna put
Nice.
all just Jerry's.
Gerard Butler. Anyways.
Anyway, yeah.
Jerry Curl.
Let your soul bloom.
I was waiting for that.
Thank you.
Brent Spiner looks great.
With
He
the
looks
CG.
fucking great. Yeah, no. I thought that was. I was very, very impressed with that because it's
Because
well
Brent Spiner
done.
looks like shit, really.
You were just a Picard's an asshole. Or no, Picard's ancient. Fucking Jeri Ryan tits. Brent Spiner looks like a piece of shit.
He does, man. The man looks like a mummy,
And
dude.
he looks his age.
He looks like he's been stabbed with the ugly stick. Sad.
This is all him.
Love you, Brent, but
This is all
damn you.
him. If any, Hollywood people want to sponsor this channel, I'll gladly go on my own. But no, like
Brent Spiner's gonna shank me in the shower.
I hope so. The fucking alien's gonna fucking possess him.
Oh,
and
and
he's
it's gonna
come
come
in.
in.
Yeah.
So far,
Yeah.
Alan Moore's Demon Ghost, Brent Spiner's Alien. I'm dead.
Fucking Picard's ancient bones.
And Jeri Ryan's tits, which I will gladly die with. I'm good with that one.
And
What were we talking about?
Picard.
We didn't even get past the first sentence.
Brent
of Picard.
Spiner, fucking Brent Spiner. He looks good with the digital makeup.
Yes,
Goddammit.
that looks great.
De-aging has come a long way. You could do it on a fucking streaming show.
If only we could de-age his real face, we'd be fine. I love you, Brent. But anyway,
I'm just gonna wait. Get all the negativity out.
I'm done.
Okay.
So yes, the de-aging looks really
yeah,
good.
de-aging looks good. You can still see it though. That's what I was actually getting at. Was the fact that like it's well done, but you and maybe it's just because my TV is it's 4K or whatever, but like you can see where they
yeah.
smoothed it out.
Yeah.
But it looks good, and not on that, but I mean the show doesn't come out for another couple months, so it could still be working on it. Like,
Well, I'm very curious, and this has been kind of a widespread discussion too in the group, is how are they putting data in?
Yeah. So
I'm
just,
dying to know.
so,
Looks holodeck, because he said playing cards, that feels kind of like, could be kind of a fake environment.
I get that, especially it's just weird because Picard's last moment in the show was he finally came and joined the crew for that weekly poker game.
Yeah.
I totally get that. The holodeck I'm leaning more towards that.
Would make sense.
He's not playing B4.
I don't think it's
I don't care what anybody
no.
says. He's not going to play B4. It's 2 inside baseball. It's fan fiction.
Yeah.
That would work in novels. That would work in if they were to do a movie. Maybe they could deep dive into that. They're not going to make the show called Picard about B4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel that would be
He
the
is in
right
it,
way.
though. Brett Spiner, actually, after the Comic-Con panel, he did the whole cast did an interview, I think, with Variety. And he did confirm that when they opened the drawer in that
B4?
trailer, those are B4's parts.
Ah.
And but he is playing Data, and he says that he's
That's kind of
in
sad.
some episodes, but not
I mean, he was a little MR, but why dismantle him?
MR. Yeah, why just I don't know. Well, wasn't he destroyed
No.
in Nemesis?
No.
Oh, what's B4's? I remember Nemesis, but I don't remember what happened.
He was at the
specifically.
end.
He was the one that survived.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
survived.
he's
He's sitting there
yeah.
whistling that
And
song
he
that
was
made
just
you think that it was going to be Data. So he was alive, but I
Yeah.
mean, he was still kind of MR. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of sad, man. Well, I mean, if we went around killing all the MR people that are in this world, that would be sad.
This is the worst
Data's
episode ever.
Data's a sentient being, goddamn, or the B4 was a sentient
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
So fuck, it'd be like going around to the special schools and blowing up short buses.
So you have this old ugly guy playing an MR robot. According to you, and you're super stoked for this TV show.
I am. I'm dying to see it.
I want to see this old fucking guy crawling around in his disgusting leathery skin.
Yes.
And I want to see this horrible, slow, Down
Bring
syndrome
it.
robot. Yeah.
Brutally dismantled. I hope they did put some fucking brutality into it, though.
I don't know.
No.
Nah, I don't like the chosen girl storyline that they're
Yeah,
going with,
yeah,
and
yeah.
not for any
Does
reason.
that
other
feel
than
like Firefly, like fucking Serenity?
Firefly? It feels like everything. Firefly, Logan,
Yeah.
Buffy. It's not because it's a female. It's the chosen one. Just this girl.
The
is
mysticism of it
it's just like
doesn't belong in Star Trek. We're there.
And even if it, I'm not saying you can't do it in Star Trek. It's not exclusive. It's just another premium show. Science fiction
Throwing
characters
that trope
we know,
in.
nostalgia with that trope. It's
Yeah.
just like we've seen this, but what I'm hoping is that they somehow flip it on its head.
I would hope. Like she dies in the first 5 minutes.
That's not gonna happen.
No. I'm aware.
But I hope that there's some surprise. I hope Q is in there. Some. I have a feeling
That'd be
he's
great.
not. I have a feeling if anything he's gonna be in the second season. Because as much as they're shoving all the fan service in your face, I think he would be at the top if he was.
You would
in
think.
it, yeah.
That would be a great place.
And that would be a great last episode post credits kind of like
yeah.
yeah. But then I know you'd be worried because
He's immortal.
gonna survive? Is Stewart gonna be around for another season? Like what if he dies?
I was thinking more like John Delancey. Q is supposed to be immortal, and John Delancey's just as ancient as Picard is.
Yeah, but I mean
De-aging.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they literally have now solved that
Yeah.
issue. Like
yeah.
David Boreanaz can come back and play Angel. James
Could.
Marshall can come back and
Could
play
play
Spike.
Spike.
Yeah.
Although David Boreanaz seems to be really
He's-
distancing himself.
No, he just did the
No,
Angel
he
reunion.
He's the one that didn't go.
No, I shared it in the group.
Oh shit! I
The
thought.
20-year Angel reunion. He was.
Oh,
he was
I
there.
read that he said he wasn't going to go.
No, he was there.
Oh.
I shared it in the group.
Take it back.
motherfucker. Yeah.
I could swear I read everybody's going to be there, but David Boreanaz.
But then he was in the group, or he was in the video.
He pulled. Thanks, Dave. You
Yeah.
fucked me up.
And now I was
Good
able
job.
to do that. Motherfucker seems to be aging in reverse.
Yeah.
Like James Marsters, he's getting old. He
Yeah.
still looks. He looks.
But that guy's like what, almost 70 now?
James. Yeah, he's almost 60. He's like 58. Because he was 42
He was very
in season
yeah,
2.
yeah.
He was 41 in season 2, and that was 98. So was this 21 years?
Yeah.
41 plus
Don't make me do
61. He's 62.
Wow.
62 years old.
Still looks pretty decent.
I mean, he looks really good. I met him 3 years ago. I was at Wizard World. I was his table. I helped him the entire day.
I met him. Oh man, I had a horrible experience. with
You
him.
told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me. No, he was great to me. He was amazing. He like I don't know if this was just placating the volunteer at the con.
You
but
were a
he loved
volunteer.
my-
I was a fan.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
different, you know.
And you were a creator, weren't you? Like
Yes.
you were
yeah, God, that was.
Yeah.
I feel like such a douche now.
I was a volunteer, and he really.
and I got his band name wrong. I
Wait,
could
Ghost
stab
in the
myself-
Robot?
Yes.
What'd you call it?
Dog Star. I mixed up him and Keanu.
Him and
Reeves.
Keanu? Oh, you're a jerk. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was bad. So I really deserved it, James. I'm just shouting out all of the celebrities today.
You're a dick to celebrities.
Not really.
You've been
Today I am.
You've been talking shit. I on this note, back in the first volume days, you were talking shit about Carrie Fisher when everybody else was. You were on your fucking bandwagon, called her Jabba the Hutt, you piece of shit.
She was huge.
She's a matriarchal. Oh, she was a matriarchal old woman.
Now I feel bad.
Good. She
should.
died the week later.
I know. I couldn't have been. Maybe it was me. Maybe I poisoned her fucking soul. You. I was sitting in my house and I made a little comic book and
she lost hope
on an airplane. Well, maybe now she has a new hope and
wherever. God, now we're just. Anyways.
Yeah. She's one with the Force.
I'm surprised. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not turning into Duane. I was gonna make a tasteless joke about her floating out of her coffin using the Force.
You kind of just did, so it's too you did
backhanded. Anyway, I'm a Scorpio. So Picard looks cool.
Yeah, Picard looks great.
Despite all the shit you talk, you're like,
you're still excited.
Shit talk, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm very excited for it, despite all of the shit talking I just did.
I am stoked for it.
And none of this shit talking.
None of this. I mean, I recognize that they look old, but I also understand intellectually it's a fucking TV show.
I know, but man,
they can make Christopher Lee do flippy doos and shit in Attack of the Clones at that time with that shitty CG. I'm pretty sure we'll be fine with Brent Spiner and Captain Picard.
Mm-hmm. But what if they have to Brandon Lee Picard because he dropped fucking dead in his chair, sipping Earl Grey?
I mean, they brought back fucking Grand Moff Tarkin.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they
will. Picard.
Yeah, make it so.
What else?
All right. So,
also, Star Trek. Actually, on that note, Tarantino wants to do Star Trek,
and he literally said it's going to be Pulp Fiction in space.
And did you see the last thing that he said about it? I posted that shit in the group too. Apparently, I know, you piece of shit. He is confused about the timelines. He knows that he wants to do it in J.J. Abrams' timeline, like he wants it with the Chris Pine universe.
Yeah, I did read that.
But he is like, he doesn't get the split.
Oh, that's not good.
He doesn't. He's like, I know. In the article, in the interview, he's like, yeah, I know that J.J. was explaining to me that this, like, the timeline's different and it's different. But he's like, no, fuck that. That's bullshit. It's, Khan, like, he's not even really Khan. Is he Benedict Cumberbatch? And the interviewer is like, well, yeah, but no, they call it. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. This is going to take place. Everything happened.
Oh,
he's like, this is going to be with the Chris Pine, like, universe, but everything in this old show happened. And so I'm just like, well, already the tone is fucked up, which I'm all about exploring tone. I could totally see Tarantino doing a Star Wars movie or a Star Trek movie when he literally says, but I want it to be Pulp Fiction in space and I want it to be rated R. That's when I'm just like, well, wait a second. Mm-hmm. We've already got Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I do weird shit with Star Trek, but do something a little bit more original. And, even in terms of rating and tone, I can see a rated R Star Trek movie. I just don't know that I want a Tarantino Star Trek rated R movie. And if it's going to be with this muddled timeline, he doesn't give a shit about continuity, why are you doing this other than to satisfy some kind of masturbatory compulsion? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if you're not paying that much attention to it, if you don't care that much,
then great.
Why?
Well, if you don't, I think he cares about the aesthetic, and he likes Star Trek because he likes Star Trek, but he doesn't know. I'm sure he doesn't know anything about
clearly
Next Generation or Deep Space Nine. To him, Star Trek is the primary colors and the swashbuckling of the '60s, and which is fine. I'm not one of those that's like Star Trek needs to be heady. It needs to be Gene Roddenberry's, perfect utopia. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. But I also don't buy Vulcans with katanas or batleths cutting off.
I'm more worried that there's going to be a gimp on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Shit like that, yeah. I'm by far not a fucking prude, but I don't need F-bombs in my Star Trek either.
Yeah.
I hated the F-bomb in Discovery.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. I think it's fucking stupid, to be honest.
I didn't mind it that much, but I understand I understand your point.
Yeah, it's unnecessary. It's like to me, and this is maybe me being snobbish, but it shows a lack of not a lack of creativity, but a lack of being able to work within certain parameters.
True.
You know what I mean? It's like if you're able to just tear the walls down and do whatever you want, then what's the point of challenging yourself?
Yeah, but I think that as an artist, he's not going. I don't see him taking it to that level.
I think I'm being a little hyperbolic in terms of what.
Be.
Yeah, I
Slightly.
definitely. But I also would not put it past Tarantino to actually make it a little cringy. No, I mean not necessarily put it. I don't think he's gonna actively like troll audiences, but I definitely think that he's gonna push it to the point of like, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Push it to the. Take everything he can get away with.
Yeah, and like.
Maybe
just
like
more than anything, just muddle the tone. I don't know.
Well,
like,
I worry that
way.
Yeah, I think he's got a brand. He's got a very specific tone with everything he does. And if his ego kind of jumps in there and says, "Well, this is exactly how it's going to be," he's going to put everything that his sort of brand is in.
Yeah,
it's good.
Like I like. In other words, I guess what I'm saying is like, he has that foot fetish thing.
Yeah.
I don't think Star Trek is going to be ruined, and I don't think he's going to shove a ton of foot fetish stuff in there. I don't think he's going to drop an N-bomb in there or anything like that.
No.
But I definitely think that there's going to be some sort of over-the-top pulpiness that is going to kind of come off more as cheesy. Because Star Trek is already kind of cheesy. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tarantino is already kind of cheesy. It's just, it's more than anything, I don't think it's going to be bad. I think it's going to be cringy. Is I guess where I'm coming from.
I just had this horrible flash in my head where Kirk's drinking some coffee and he's like, you don't need to tell me how good my coffee is. I know how good my coffee is.
Yeah,
It's a bad flash there.
Dead Klingon storage? Is that dead Klingon storage? It's just,
Anyway,
but either way, like, that looks interesting. I don't know who's asking for this. This is definitely something where it's like, Tarantino wants to do what? Yeah, let's do it. But nobody in the world outside of Tarantino was like, I'd love to see a Tarantino.
Yeah. I would not have even begun to freaking put that
I honestly,
together.
as little as I think people were asking for something like Solo, I think people are asking for this less.
I would think. That would be like Michael Bay making a period piece.
Like a Godfather movie.
More like a Victorian movie on Golden Pond.
Wouldn't that be Abraham Lincoln Vampire?
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
I guess it does exist, fuck.
Which isn't bad. I mean, there was a scene where he literally ran across horse.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Okay, well.
I don't know. It seems interesting. That's definitely something that I want to keep an eye on because I like when Star Trek is doing shit, regardless of what it is, because it's like Star Trek seems to lie dormant for years.
It does,
and it's just sort of its popularity and its the love for it is propagated specifically by the old shows. So anytime that there's an addition to the canon in terms of film stuff, it's cool.
I think they wait. I think Star Trek waits for things to kind of percolate.
Yeah.
And then they take the pulse of what's going on and kind of push it in that direction.
Which is cool. I mean, they've done that with Discovery.
Yes.
Which I really like. I know a lot of people have that same kind of complaint with Discovery as I do with what I think the Tarantino thing might be. But I think with Discovery, it's less about there's all the same tropes in a lot of media and that, but it's just I do like the execution of it. I think it was really well done. I think the actors are really good.
It is.
The writing not great, but it's okay.
I like it.
Yeah, they're doing some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like Trek. I like where Trek is going.
That's good. Me too.
But yeah, man. What else?
I don't know. I think that was all I could think of.
Pretty much what we were. Oh, I mean, there's Marvel Phase 4 stuff.
Oh God. Yeah.
Which I don't think I have the same disdain for it as you do.
I can't say I have disdain because I don't really. We haven't seen anything really super much, but the few things that did pop up, didn't really hit me as stuff that's going to really have the same impact and flavor.
Thor stuff. I love the Thor Love and Thunder. It looks like that's going to be
Jane
great.
Foster.
Yeah.
Yes, I am actually excited for that.
Taika Waititi's back.
I want to see.
I love the fucking logo. I want that logo on a fucking T-shirt. And
that really brings the question: is Hemsworth going to kind of go more to the Asgardians of the Galaxy and actually have Portman kind of come in and?
Oh, James Gunn said that Asgardians of the Galaxy is not going to be a thing. And also, apparently Thor Love and Thunder takes place before Guardians 3.
Oh.
So, rumor is that there might be a couple Guardians in Thor, but you're going to get filled in with his time with the Guardians in Thor, and then by the time Guardians 3 happens, he's not going to be with that. But yeah, so that's going to be that. I would love for Rocket to be in Thor: Love and Thunder because I love that dynamic. That was great chemistry.
I'm curious as to how this is going to play out because for her to be Thor, I mean, the way Marvel did it, I loved.
Cancer, yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
The cancer, her getting Mjolnir, on the moon. It was really, really cool the way they did it. But Mjolnir does not exist right now.
Yeah, it does.
No, he took it back.
So it exists.
I mean, it does exist, but it exists in the past. It does not exist in the present.
No, does it?
No. At the end of Endgame, Cap took it back to the original Thor, or the past Thor.
Did he?
Yes.
I don't remember that. I thought he just. Okay. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
Because if you think about timeline shit, how would Thor be able to do half the shit he did without Mjolnir? Because he took it.
Because it already happened, and it's different. It's an alternate timeline.
But he wouldn't have had Mjolnir.
It's an alternate timeline.
Okay, well then that alternate timeline would have been fucked. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he took it back at the end of Endgame. Oh man, this is gonna hurt. We need the whiteboard and everything for that.
Hold on. I don't think that happened.
I'm pretty sure he did have Mjolnir with him when he went back into the past.
Let me see.
Because he was holding it. I'm almost positive he went to take it back to the original Thor from the past. And while you're looking that up, my whole question is she going to take Stormbreaker? That would be weird.
No, they have to. Hold on, I'm sorry. This sucks. I'm doing business. Now let me look up the Thor shit. Let me see. Did really? I can't just fucking use voice search. Did Cap return Mjolnir? Cap return Mjolnir. What does Captain America do with Mjolnir in Avengers Endgame? Captain America takes Mjolnir back to 2013. So if he takes it back to 2013, that's before or after Civil War? Like, I mean, timeline-wise, in terms of the universe.
That would be Thor 2, right?
Yeah.
Which was before Civil War.
So, could Thor: Love and Thunder maybe take place?
It would have to be,
in that timeline with that Mjolnir, so that by the time we get to like Guardians 3 or after Thor 4, that's the Jane Foster from that timeline that somehow comes into this. You know what I mean? Like, what if they're working? Because Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. What if this is a multiverse kind of story? Because if Mjolnir went back to 2013, that was before Jane Foster dipped on Thor.
Yeah.
So it could all happen like at that point.
Could be.
You know what I mean?
It's either that or she takes Stormbreaker. Those are the two options.
Yeah. But I mean, she had Mjolnir in the comics, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they gave her the hammer on stage at Comic-Con.
Interesting. Huh. That sounds like more of your theory might actually pan out there. It would have to be. Because I could not think of any other way that she would actually get a hold of Mjolnir other than alternate timeline or past.
Yeah.
So.
Alright.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Looking forward to Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
That one looks badass.
Yes.
And actually, somebody brought up a point that, like, saying that it's going to be the very first straight-up Marvel horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What does that mean about New Mutants? Because New Mutants was billed as the first horror movie. It's already filmed. It's been in the can for years.
Yeah.
They could kind of be saying it's the first official MCU horror movie as opposed to the first Marvel, because that's X-Men, But it is owned by Fox, or Fox is owned by Disney, so who knows?
That's interesting. Yeah.
But actually, I think we should probably actually head up because some stuff's about to happen.
Okay.
But that was good. We are definitely going to continue doing this. I know we haven't recorded an episode in a couple days, or in a couple weeks rather, but that's because we've actually been writing and working on some other stuff. We're actually going to start working on some other stuff, hopefully like right now, I think, to have for the next couple months and the next couple episodes. Like I said, we're going to start doing some like more sketchy, skit type stuff.
Yeah.
Some more fun shit where we're writing a lot of like little scripts and vignettes. Like I said, we could totally use some people. Like if you just want to be in there and just play and be fun and be silly and stuff, we're looking for friends to do that with. So. It sounds like we're so lonely. We're looking for friends to do that with.
Come play with us.
Play with us. We promise we won't talk shit about your age. We won't talk shit about your face.
If you've been CGI.
Or I won't, anyways. This guy.
Yeah, If you've been CGI'd, we won't talk shit about that. We won't talk shit about. We will not. I can't promise that we won't talk about your tits. Sorry. I don't know. Can't promise it.
This guy.
But at least, it'll be cute and subdued way,
I'll talk about. I mean, I'll straight up talk about tits. If you have a full beard that accents the cleavage.
Mm-hmm. You have to have that.
Burly arms. Man tits.
Man tits, yes.
Yeah,
you
man
have
tits.
those. Double D or bigger though. I don't want no
So
man
creepy.
tits.
So creepy, though. Yeah.
I've been on my creepy game this morning.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Today.
And on that note.
On that note, let's go ahead and say bye, and until next time, and everybody have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck Georgia.
Fuck Georgia. Which will be in the credits.